Update the guy, 29M. I'm 25F, dating and his friends gotta keep me about my hobbies and career. I'm feeling embarrassed. Original. Deleted as per mod's request. Actual update. After the post I decided it would be best to end things through a phone call. I mentioned ghosting, but it's probably best he knows how and why he fucked up. I waited until Saturday to reach out to him, told him we need to talk. I'm paraphrasing here, but this is basically what the convo went like. Dan, this is about the dinner, isn't it? Me, yeah it is. Dan, and me, I don't think I've ever felt so unwelcome in a group before. It felt like a shitty interview. All they did was test my knowledge. No one tried to get to know me, and when actual conversation was going on I was ignored or interrupted if I tried to talk. Dan, I don't feel it like it was anything like that. Me, okay, so how often do you guys sit around just asking questions like quick, what is the SQL query if you want to delete 2 rows from 2 different tables? Dan, I don't know. Me, no really, do you quiz your friends randomly like that at work or out and about? Dan, no not really. Me, and why not? Why don't you just ask lightning round quizzes like that? BC it's not what normal people do. Dan, I don't know. They were just having fun and joking around. Me, it wasn't fun for me. I have male and female friends in all sorts of professions. I've never cornered any of them to test their knowledge. I trust they know what they are doing. I ask them about work, what they are doing, normal questions. Dan, okay. Me, I'm not going to print out a CPA exam and quiz my accountant friend. Don't you think that would be a little fucked up? Dan, I don't know, maybe? We talked a little more about that night, and I gave him more specific examples of what he and his friends did, and he never really had any good answered. It was a lot of I don't know, and single word answers. I told him I created a Reddit post and I would send it to him. He was a little pissed off that I did that, felt like I had no right to so. At the end of the conversation he asked if we were done. I told him yeah, that I can't see a future with him, that I saw a different side of him that night and I don't want to be someone's prize poodle on display for the world to see. He didn't really say anything after that and just hung up the phone. I sent him the URL for my first post. He texted me throughout the weekend, but I didn't respond. He read the post that I sent him and wasn't happy with it and said he couldn't believe so many people were on my side and were hating on him. He sent a few more angry texts after that like he couldn't believe we were breaking up over something so stupid. He did send a few rounds of I'm sorries and let's try to work through this, but when I didn't respond he just went back to angry texting me. Also, I did find his friend who buried his head in his phone that night and sent him the Reddit link and asked if that sounded like what happened. Dan's friend said he knew what his friends were doing were wrong and felt bad for me. He apologized for not stepping in and assumed that Dan would eventually speak up for me on my behalf. He also apologized for joining them in the beginning and wished me luck in my career. TLDR, I tried explaining how that night was weird, uncomfortable and fucked up. He didn't see my point of view, didn't learn any lessons from it. I broke it off. He has been sending me angry texts. I haven't responded. Edit. I know my first post was gilded in some of my comments too. Instead of giving money to Reddit or giving me gold I can't use on this account, please donate to this organization. Winter is approaching and there are a lot of kids that don't have coats. My husband, 32M, won't visit my 30F family because it is inconvenient for him. How do I handle the situation? My parents have spent the last 9 years living in the middle of nowhere. It took a 4-hour plane ride and a 4-hour drive to reach them, so my husband, 32M, refused to visit. This upset me, partly because I want to see my family more, but also because my parents think it is the child's duty to come visit their parents, and not the other way around. My husband had a few reasons for not wanting to go, chiefly cost and time of travel, since we initially were not making much money, and he has bad back problems. He also didn't think it was fair for my parents to expect me to visit when they live in such a remote area. He has only gone to visit my parents once in the 6 years we have been together. Now, my parents are moving to a tropical island that is a popular vacation destination and only a 4-hour flight and quick 30-minute ferry ride away. We make twice what we used to and live very comfortably, and he is in the process of getting his back fixed and will have some significant, though not full, relief by the time my parents want us to visit, and yet he still refuses to go. He promised me all year that we would go, and I was excited to both see my parents and have a relatively cheap island vacation, and he kept stating the whole time that we would go. He only refused when I went to book the tickets. I'm fuming mad. I haven't even told my parents yet because I'm so angry with him. I haven't spoken to him in days. It genuinely makes me feel sick to my stomach that he would lead me on for 6 months about seeing my own parents. Especially when his parents live a 3-hour drive away and we go multiple times a year. I have gone above and beyond to show him that his family is as important to me as my family because they are my family, but he treats my family as if they were worthless hillbillies. He never sends them gifts or reaches out to them without prompting. He doesn't seem to care at all how much I miss the comfort of my parents' home. I don't mind that we don't see my parents so often, but I think every other year should be a minimum and once every 6+ years is just depressing. But he doesn't seem to care at all. He won't budge and he won't even talk about it. I'm so ashamed of his behavior. I can't bring myself to tell my parents. They were so excited to show him around the island and had several spots they wanted to take us. How can I make him understand how important this was to me? How do I break the news to my girlfriend and my relationship of 2 years? We have been dating for quite some time now, about 2 years, and in every way she F25 made me feel I'm the only one until recently I found out she has been cheating on me with different guys. Apparently one of her one-nighters got in his feelings, tried to date her, and her refusal to date the guy whom is a hacker developer. M32 infiltrated her phone just to get back at her. M28 got a mail addressed to me from someone using with the subject lost but found. With anxiety I clicked open the email and behold several nudes of my girl with different guys. The sender did not leave a name but with a short message, "You've been a fool all along," and a contact that led to a some 3v dude on Telegram, should in case I have questions. In no time I reached out to the contact. At first I thought it was a blackmail scheme to extort me, but at that point I actually do not give a fuck, so I bumped the question, "Who are you, and what do you want?" After minutes of back and forth conversation, he revealed a lot of truth about my girl he found out on her various social media accounts, and he was only trying to save me from future heartbreak. I'm still looking for a perfect way to call this quit. I truly love my girl but this is not acceptable. Girlfriend, 23F, annoyed angry when I, 25M, pointed out her hypocrisy when it comes to cheating. I have been with my partner for 2 years and she's always been vocal about how much she hates cheating, and it's something she could never forgive etc after her ex-BF cheated on her. One of my friends cheated on his partner and my GF ranted for a while about how awful he was. Again I agreed that he shouldn't have cheated etc and didn't try to condone his behavior. My GF went out on a night out with 3 of her friends. All of them are in relationships. The next morning my GF was talking about the night and kept talking about how one of her friends kept going up to random guys, dancing with them, having her arms around them, and she said it looked like she tried to kiss one of them, but they said no. My GF said all of this while joking about the night. I mentioned that her friends are cheating or at least trying to be, and that I feel bad for her BF, and that her deserves to know. My GF disagreed and said she isn't a cheat since nothing happened, so I asked my GF if she would be happy with me dancing with random women on a night out and trying to kiss one of them, and she said no, but that's different. I just pointed out she's seeming to condone cheating when it's her friends or when it's women cheating, but if it's a man or someone she doesn't know then she is immediately disgusted by cheating. I pointed out it's double standard hypocritical of her to say she hates cheats but then brushed past her friend trying to cheat on her partner. She said I'm wrong and that I'm out of line for calling her a hypocrite. How would you handle this? TLDR, my GF was cheated on and has always said she hates cheaters. She went on a night out with her friends where one of her friends tried to cheat on her partner and my GF laughed it off. I pointed out it was hypocritical to say you hate cheaters but then overlook her friend doing the same thing. My GF said I was wrong and out of line. How would you handle this? Update: I, 14M, have no connection with my mother, 29F. My mom was raped. I don't know how to handle this. I posted yesterday about my issue with my mom. I finally had the courage to talk to my mom about our relationship and I wasn't prepared for it. We were alone and I just asked if she loved me. I called her mom for first time in months. I wanted to know what her feelings for me really are. I just ranted to her without letting her speak. How I needed her attention and it's affecting me. I played sports just for her attention and so that she would be proud of my achievements. I asked her why she wouldn't attend my award ceremonies or attend parents' nights at school. I would stay out late just so that she would call me. I flipped and told her she should have never had me. I fucked up. I made my mom cry that night. She told me that she did love me. She revealed that she was raped by my dad. He was her boyfriend at the time, but she didn't consent. She became depressed and carried me full term. She is still recovering from her depression. My grandparents wanted her and I to be raised as siblings in order for her to continue with her life. At first she tried to be a mother, but it was really difficult raising me. This is why she has been distant from me. She doesn't know if she wants to be my mom or act as my sister. In the end she just gave up. I remind her of a rapist, but she knows that I'm gentle and kind. I didn't know what to say. I just hugged her. It was a hard truth to swallow. I told her that I will always be there for her. She told she didn't know I was hurting inside. I told her we can start again from scratch. My mom joked that I scare away her boyfriends, and she loves my cooking. I cried as I went to sleep. I can't blame her anymore, and I should make a better effort to be more involved with her. I want to support her. I'm not going to break off contact with her. I'm going to try and persuade her to join me in getting some family therapy. I'll try my best to be a good son. Thanks for the advice. I wanted to ask if there was any advice on helping family members overcome depression. Edit. Thank you for all the support. I will get my grandparents involved to search for a good therapist for my mom and myself. My 33F boyfriend, 41M, is mad at me for refusing to wake up and have sex at 4 AM. I'll keep it short. Last night early this morning, I was sleeping while was in the living room, drinking and listening to music. He came in the bedroom at 4 AM and asked me if I have ever been raped, which I told him I have a fantasy about being taken advantage of, role playing that out with him. I was asleep and said no means no. I'm sleeping and don't want to have sex. He got annoyed and said to get my fantasies in order and was talking shit under his breath. I could hear him. He then gets up, puts porn on his phone and shines a flashlight in my face saying he's gonna take care of himself, but wants to bust on my chest. I woke up, annoyed, and said no, I'm sleeping. He got pissed off at me, said that he will remember this, and left the room, slamming the door. He was obviously drunk, because he drank all of the alcohol we had in the house. Not too much, but even my 14 finished drink from the night. I know this is not okay, but I honestly think there is something wrong with him. I guess I'm not looking for advice, but looking to see if I just should have let him finish. He told me I should have just stayed asleep. Instead I woke up with an attitude. Wouldn't anyone? My sister, 8F, walked in on me, 20M, and my boyfriend, 22M, having sex. Update. Original post. I made dinner and put Frozen on to get her to sit with me on the couch. It was so awkward. She still wouldn't look at me. I finally got her to open up. I apologized to her for having seen what she saw. I asked her what she thinks she saw. All she asked was why was BF hurting me? I explained that BF and I were just wrestling and I was upset that I lost. Then she goes to ask why was I screaming then. I was wishing lightning would strike me. I told her that I was mad cause I was losing. She bought it. Thank God. Poor thing got freaked out because she thought BF was hurting me. I texted him and asked him to call me and apologize to me for hurting me. He did and I put on speakerphone and he apologized. She felt so much better after that. She was back to herself again after that. We finished the movie and I gave her cough syrup and put her to bed. Disaster avoided. I did call and tell my parents. They were shocked. I haven't come out to them yet and they were unaware that my friend was actually my BF that I've been seeing for a year. As for the sex part, before they could yell, I apologized and promised them it won't happen again. And I reminded them of the time I came home from school when I was 16 and caught them in the act on the kitchen island. That got me out of trouble. I wasn't grounded or noting. They did ask if they could meet him sometime next week. He also wants to apologize to them. Today was a good day. Saved my sister's childhood. Came out to my parents. Had sex, got caught, and didn't get in trouble. And parents want to meet my BF. Lesson learned. If I want to be intimate with him again, I'll go to his apartment. Smile, 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 smile.